It's like someone's going swimming but got no life jacket. So is being this hyper standard for Bombay cats?
Hey, what's the problem here? Is he in your bed? Yeah.
En ese momento, Cell sintió el verbo.
Thought you sailed with sailors, not flew planes.
Oh my gosh! Jay!
Ali, Emiliano. Disfarça, vai pra lá.
Coyotes are highly social. These pups.
I don't think 9 lives are enough for my friend. This kid's doing it by the book. Theory first, practice later.
Sweeney, no. Get over here. Sweeney.
Feeling.
This round goes to the stick.
Stop. What are you doing? Stop it. What are you doing? Shady. Дико. Дико.
Буся. Кушать будешь?
Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, A Long Day Closing Beside MIT. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. The day started like many others, too fast, too loud, and a little heavier than I expected. My alarm rang before the sun had fully decided to show up, and I rolled out of bed with that familiar feeling of already being tired. Outside, the city was waking up in its usual rush. Inside, my mind was already full of small worries. Unfinished work, unanswered messages, things I should have done better yesterday. MIT was still asleep when I passed by the living room. He was curled up like a warm comma on his blanket, breathing softly, ears twitching once in a while, as if he were dreaming of something important. Maybe a park, maybe a piece of chicken, maybe nothing at all. I paused for a second, watching him. There was something calming about how fully he trusted the world to let him sleep. I whispered, "I'll be back soon," even though I knew he didn't understand the words. But he lifted his head anyway, eyes half open, tail giving one lazy wag. That was his way of saying I heard you, and it's okay. The day moved on without mercy. Meetings stacked on top of each other. Emails kept arriving faster than I could reply. Lunch was rushed and tasteless. Somewhere between afternoon and evening, I realized I hadn't taken a deep breath all day. My shoulders felt tight, my thoughts messy, like a room that hadn't been cleaned in weeks. Every now and then, without meaning to, I thought of MIT. I imagined him waiting at home, stretching, walking around the house, listening for sounds at the door. The thought didn't solve anything, but it softened the edges of the day. It reminded me that something simple and good was waiting, no matter how long the hours stretched. By the time the sky turned orange and gray, I felt emptied out. The kind of tired that isn't just physical, it sits deeper, somewhere behind the eyes. All I wanted was for the day to end. I didn't need excitement or celebration. I just needed quiet. And that was when I remembered. The day wouldn't really be over until it closed beside MIT. When I opened the door, the first thing I heard was the sound of paws rushing across the floor. The second thing was MIT's excited breathing, half bark, half laugh, the noise he always made when happiness arrived too quickly for his body to handle. There he was, MIT, standing right in front of me, tail wagging so hard his whole body joined in. His eyes were bright, full of questions and joy. You're home? You're really home? It's you? I knelt down, dropping my bag without care, and he jumped gently against me, careful not to knock me over, as if he knew I was tired. His nose was cold. His fur smelled like the house, familiar and comforting. I buried my face in his neck for a moment, and just like that, the day loosened its grip. We didn't do anything special. That was the beauty of it. I changed into old clothes. MIT followed me from room to room, not because he needed something, but because being near me was enough. When I went to the kitchen, he sat nearby, watching every move with polite hope. When I poured water, he drank from his bowl at the same time, like a quiet routine we never planned but somehow shared. Later, we sat on the floor together. I leaned against the couch, and MIT rested his head on my leg, heavy and warm. The house was quiet except for distant sounds from outside and the soft rhythm of his breathing. I scrolled through my phone for a bit, then put it down. It didn't feel important anymore. MIT sighed, a deep, satisfied sigh, and closed his eyes. His body relaxed completely, trusting that nothing bad would happen while he rested there. I noticed small things I usually missed. The way his ears moved when he heard a noise, the tiny twitch of his paws, the warmth spreading through my leg where he leaned. In that moment, I realized something gentle and true. MIT wasn't asking me to be better, faster, or stronger. He wasn't measuring my success or counting my mistakes. To him, this, me sitting there, tired but present, was already enough. The long day didn't disappear, but it softened. It folded itself quietly into the background, like a book being closed at the end of a chapter. Night came slowly. The lights were dim. Outside, the world kept moving, but inside, time felt kind again. I lay down on the bed, and MIT jumped up beside me, turning in a small circle before settling near my feet. He always chose that spot, not too close, not too far, just enough to be together. I stretched, feeling the tiredness sink into the mattress instead of my thoughts. Before sleep, my mind usually replayed the day, pointing out everything I hadn't done well. But tonight, with MIT breathing steadily nearby, those thoughts felt less sharp. They came and went without staying too long. I reached out and rested my hand on his side. He didn't wake up, but his tail moved slightly, just once, as if he felt it in his dreams. I smiled in the dark. A long day doesn't always end with accomplishment. Sometimes it ends with presence, with a warm body nearby, with the quiet understanding that you are not alone, even when the world feels heavy. MIT didn't know anything about my deadlines or worries. He didn't care about the things that went wrong. What he knew was this. The day had ended. We were together, and that was good. And so the day closed, not loudly, not perfectly, but gently, beside MIT. This simple day with MIT reflects something deeply important in our modern lives. We live in a world that constantly asks us to move faster, do more, and prove our worth through productivity. In that rush, we often forget how to rest, how to be present, and how to truly connect. MIT reminds us that value doesn't always come from achievement. It can come from presence. Animals live fully in the moment. They don't hold on to yesterday's mistakes or worry about tomorrow's plans. By sharing our lives with them, we are gently invited to slow down. A quiet evening, a shared space, or even a silent moment together can restore more than we realize. From MIT, we can learn to build small daily rituals of connection, coming home fully, putting distractions aside, and allowing ourselves to simply be. We can also learn responsibility and compassion. Caring for another living being teaches patience, empathy, and consistency. Most importantly, Relationships between humans and animals remind us that love doesn't need to be loud or complicated. Sometimes, the greatest comfort comes from a warm presence beside us at the end of a long day. If we carry that lesson into our lives, we may find ourselves living more gently, with others, with animals, and with ourselves.